Welcome everyone. If you haven't got a coffee yet, you can grab a coffee over at Joey Zaz's. Just tell them you're at this event. I'll give you one for free, thanks to Jitsi. And we'll get underway in about 5 minutes.
So we're about to get started. Those who are sat at the back, come and grab yourself a seat. If you're one of the lucky ones, we've taped a couple of $100 bills underneath the seats. Right. We'll give it a bit later. Okay, we're going to get started. Those of you at the back, there's a few more chairs down here in this row.
All right. Good morning, everyone. How you doing? Woo! Hey, excellent. Good. Welcome to Morning Startup, a very special edition of Morning Startup. We've got the Innovators of the Year 2024 launch. Thank you very much for coming. See a lot of new faces. Who hasn't been to Morning Startup before? All right. Who's never heard of Morning Startup before?
You're about to experience the Scott and Dave banter. For those of you who don't know, this is Scott Glue. I'm Dave Newman. We've been doing this since 2011.
Yep.
Rain, hail, no snow, but lots of shine. Every second Wednesday we will meet here without fail and bring to you an interesting presenter and topics so that you as founders or people who are thinking of starting a business can learn from some of the mistakes that potentially Scott and I and other people have made on this journey.
Mistakes? What are you talking about?
No mistakes, mate. No mistakes.
Well, that's right. It's just trying to get smart people under the same roof as often as possible. So we have this every 2 weeks and Founder Sundowner at a pub at No Man Brewery once a month. So, yeah, hopefully if you're starting a startup or you've got an idea and you just want to network with other entrepreneurs and startup people, this is a good place to start.
It is. And we've actually seen some successful businesses come from people just coming to this and connecting with other people and then creating their founder startup journey, which is why we have this, shameless plugs and shout-outs. We know who the new starters are, so obviously there's a lot of people going to be here from Jitsi this morning and that, but anybody that wants to stand up, Scott's going to walk around with a mic, wants to introduce themselves, tell us what you're working on, tell us if you've got an ask as well. It's super important. So go ahead, Peter.
Victim one, Peter.
Thank you. Peter Kasprzak, Innovate Australia. Just plug to let you know, on 15th of May, we are organizing vertical farming, and food hubs innovation summit. And also, we're planning for next financial year, we're planning 8 events, like we did before, on AI innovation summits, but with our Asian neighbors, so each one going to be with different Asian country. So you're welcome.
Brilliant.
Fantastic.
I'll
All right, got another one over there for you, Dave.
Good morning, everybody. My name's Kay Foss. Alongside living inside my founder family is my husband, working in agri, food, tech, etc. around the world. I have a business called Founder Families. I'm focused on looking at founder mental health and wellbeing. I come from a background of high-performance sport and the arts, and there's a big movement. Every founder that I speak to is having some type of challenge with life and family and balancing that. My announcement is that I've been appointed the first ambassador to the bit early for me. First ambassador to the Founder Mental Health Pledge, which is a pledge suggesting that investors will look to invest in the founder's mental health and wellbeing with part of the funds that they put into that business. So I'd love everyone to get online if they could have a look at the Founder Mental Health Pledge. We've also just launched the Founder Mental Health Clause, which is a clause to go in the term sheet to actually spell that out, that we will put some funds that we're investing into the mental health and wellbeing of the founders. Thank you.
Fantastic. Really cool. Good job. Any other shameless plugs and announcements?
One over here. I'll just run round.
Morning, guys. My name is George Stone. I'm one of the co-founders of Precision Mycology. We're a mycological biotech company. So mycology is the study of mushrooms. We produce, we grow functional mushrooms, so the ones with all the sort of trendy beneficial compounds in them. We extract them, and we're sort of at the bleeding edge of being able to apply these to particular parts of the body, particularly focusing on getting through the blood-brain barrier and fixing people's minds.
Fantastic. You sound like a fun guy.
Yeah, too. Fun guy.
That's it. All right, Matt.
Hi everyone, just a quick one. I'm Matt McFarlane, and together with Kirstin we just recently announced the National Energy Transition Accelerator, and applications are open right now, and it'll be running in July and August. So anyone who has a startup that might be involved in anything to do with energy transition, There's $10,000 of equity-free money as well as an 8-week program, and you get to travel to Queensland and meet lots of partners, and it'll be fun. So, yeah, if you happen to be in the energy accelerator, energy transition space, have a look at it on the Kirstin website. Thanks.
Thanks, Matt.
All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Martin Schlegel. I'm the chair of the Australian Sports Technologies Network, and I wanted to invite you to an event that occurred yesterday evening here at SpaceCube, a networking event of companies, technology companies that apply their technologies in sport. But all kidding aside, the funder journey can be a lonely journey. And for those of you who are in sport or think that their technology can be applied in sport, we invite them to come to our programs, which are supported by the department, because connecting to national and international networks and talking to peers is so important for a founder. Thank you.
Excellent.
Okay.
Thanks very much. One more over there, I think.
Aha, one more. There we go.
Hi, I'm Pishan Seet from Edith Cowan University, ECU. I'm the Professor of Entrepreneurship and Innovation there. So the university's been awarded a WA Communities Department grant to help create more women-led businesses. So as part of that, there'll be a series of workshops, and they are free, and they start from the periphery, from Karratha, Geraldton, and then slowly move their way into Perth starting from July. They are 2-day workshops. They are created by women, run by women, and for women. So I'm not involved in this, but I'm doing a pitch for the rest of my colleagues. And you can find out a bit more at executiveeducation.ecu.edu.au. Okay?
Excellent. Thank you very much. All right. I know we've got a big agenda today, so we should move on.
Let's shoot through these. So we have a format which we go through every fortnight. We've already mentioned here is a Founder Sundowner.
First Wednesday of every month. Get around it. No Man Brewery. See you there.
Massive thanks to the Department of Jobs, Tourism, Science and Innovation. Every fortnight we do stream this, and we can only do that to the regions and to different areas through the great work and the sponsorship from JITSI and the New Industries Fund. But also you've got other great programs, like, for example, the WAVES program, which I know there's some representatives here from some of the companies they support. Through that, I guess myself personally, I've benefited from that as a founder starting a health tech company here in Australia, and now having taken that national and opening our first office over in Sydney. So thank you to the New Industries Fund for that. And also, if you haven't checked out, I won't go through Innovator of the Year because we're going to talk about that, but if you haven't checked out Deal Room, go and check it out. Make sure your company's up to date. Put the information there. It does help.
I'll just point out, we've still got the old logo there. Can anyone spot the difference? So Innovators, an extra S and a cool logo. Cool. I'm sure that'll be mentioned. All right. So amazing camera equipment up their back, streaming to the world. They've done weird streaming in places with no internet connections and a whole load of stuff. So thank you to Perth Video for putting this on every 2 weeks. Supported by JITSI. Thank you very much.
Ammo, if you haven't checked out Ammo, Cam and the guys all there basically do a great job in marketing, boutique marketing company. If you need to get your startup out there, the reason we mention these guys, by the way, is that they do help us run some of the costs in running this. Scott and I do this for the love and for the greater good.
There are meetup fees, there's food, there's coffee, there's a whole bunch of
yes,
stuff.
Some of the costs they guys help us with. So check out Ammo, and more importantly, check out the Weird Growth podcast. It is interesting. There are definitely lots of insights from founders on there, and something you can definitely learn from.
Absolutely. Beecham Group, I think Glenn is here at the back there. So if you need talent in your startup or company, or you have talent and want to get a good gig at a startup or an awesome company, hit up Glenn. They're a boutique recruitment company here in Perth. Definitely help you out, and they've been helping us out since the start.
And last but not least, if you're in 3PL,
e-commerce, does anyone know those acronyms?
Last mile, if you've got an e-commerce store and you are distributing them, then check out Jesse and the team at KeepSpace. Obviously, there's more food here this week, but normally in the normal week, Jesse and the team put on a lovely breakfast for people that come along.
Absolutely.
And last but not least, TechOn, if you are looking for developers or to create that minimal, lovable product, MLP rather than MVP, then check out Matt and the team at TechOn. Definitely worth a shout. Again, they come endorsed. We have used them.
Yes, that's right. They have a dev team based in Nepal, but they manage it all here in Australia. So very, very cost-effective developers if you need that.
And last but not least, we're going to shoot through this. We couldn't put on Morning Startup every 2 weeks without fail and bring you beautiful people into this space without Space Cubes and the team giving us this space for free. So we thank you. If you are looking for co-working space, then check out a number of the different places. They do help. Again, I'm witness. Our first office is in the Space Cube equivalent over in Sydney in Parramatta. So it definitely does help. Last but not least, we'll go through Startup News. Who subscribed to Startup News? Excellent.
Good.
I love that little thing. Comes
Good.
out every Friday. +8. I think they've just had boot camp. So congratulations to those. I'm not sure if they've been shortlisted yet, but congratulations. If you are looking to learn how to accelerate your business rapidly and kind of not make the mistakes that we have as founders, then check
Dave's
out.
evidence of that. He was in one of the first cohorts of the +8 Accelerator, so it does work.
It does.
I think.
And check out +8. They have the main cohort, and then they have the +8 sprint. And last but not least,
You've said that 3 times now. I'm going to say maybe last but not least. Startup WA is our body for lobbying to government and telling them what startups need. So please become a member of Startup WA. You'll get their newsletter and see what events are on and all the great stuff that they're doing. And TechBoard. So if you've got a startup, claim your profile on TechBoard, put an announcement on there, or go out to their sort of investor-heavy focused audience.
I'm waiting for this last slide to see if we get a laugh as
Well, before that, so we're always looking for cool speakers. Anyone that, if you have a topic that you want us to share, please get in touch. We're Morning Startup on all the things. Send us an email, Slack, whatever.
I think we're doing quite well as well because we're booked up until June now, I think.
Yeah. If you want to talk, it's sort of July plus. So you've got plenty of time to think about it. Speaking of awesome speakers coming up, we've got Davo Smitho. See you in the audience somewhere? There he is at the back. Cool. From Seri. So my sister-in-law is spelled exactly the same, and she says Kerry. Centre for Entrepreneurial Research and Innovation. Oh, yes. So he's speaking about the entrepreneurial frameworks. There's a whole bunch of frameworks out there, from lean startup to storyboard, storybook, story something. He's going to correlate all of those together and tell you how you can sort of navigate that, sort of like a framework on frameworks for entrepreneurs. So that should be exciting and interesting. If you want to know more, speak to Dave O'Smitho at the end. And that's formalities out of the way.
Crickets, mate. Cricket. Every time we try this, you can see it going through their heads. They're like, there's 4, but yeah.
All right, well, we should sit down and get this show underway. So we have an amazing event. It's the Innovators of the Year launch. This is usually done at a nice ballroom and all of that, but they thought, well, let's bring it to the startup community. Let's get more people involved in this amazing program that Jitsi and the New Industries Fund put on. So we've got some amazing panellists today. We've also got the Minister, Stephen Dawson, here to talk. But before we get into that, we're going to hand over to the man that needs no introduction in Perth Startup World, the godfather of Perth Startups, Charlie Gunningham. Woo!
Thanks. And look, they've been doing this for 13 years. They do an amazing job. So a big round of applause. Scott and Dave. And we might make that a little bit more central, because I think the Minister might use the lectern for the talk, and I might do the slides. That's going to be interesting. So welcome everyone to the launch of WA Innovators of the Year. Before I start, I'd like to acknowledge that we're meeting today on the land of the Whadjuk people of Noongar Nation, traditional custodians of the land on which we're meeting, and pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging. I'd also like to extend that acknowledgement to all the lands and countries into which the live stream is being viewed live, and also on catch-up. We get over 400 people watching the live stream or later, and as you see, barely get 100 people in the room. I know there are people across WA watching right now, and also we have a sponsor in Sydney watching, so welcome everyone. My name is Charlie Gunningham. I'm the Director of Innovation at the Department of Jobs, Tourism, Science Innovation. Welcome to all the innovators here today. To all our sponsors, I see quite a few in the room today, thank you. The judges, the supporters of WA Innovators of the Year, my departmental colleagues have turned up nice and early as well. Great to see you. Thank you for coming along, your support, and getting this show on the road. And everyone involved in the innovation ecosystem. I have a simple job. All I have to do is have a special welcome to the Minister Stephen Dawson, and to our patron, Professor Fiona Wood. Thank you very much for your attendance this morning. You'll be hear from both of them in a minute with a panel. But first, to officially open and launch WA Innovators of the Year, can you please join me in welcoming the Minister of Innovation, the Honourable Steve Dawson, MLC.
Thanks, Charlie. Good morning. Can I start by saying Nala Kadich, Wajak, Nyunga Moort, Kayan Kadak, Nijabuja. Can I too acknowledge that we're on the land of the Wajak people of the Noongar Nation today and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. I am going to stand behind the lectern. I've been given a speech. It's got lots of good information in it, so I am going to read it to make sure that you know what today's event is about and the opportunities that will stem from it. First of all, can I please take the opportunity to acknowledge to Dave and Scott and thank them for their efforts in sustaining this really important event. Thanks, gents. Thank you all for joining us for the launch of the 2024 Innovators of the Year, because every year we give out more than one, and so it's important to acknowledge all of the winners, and so therefore the name has been updated this year. Can I thank Professor Fiona Wood AM, who is here this morning, for her ongoing patronage, and indeed for the amazing stuff that she has done and continues to do in our ecosystem in Western Australia. To Adam Falconer-West, who's the CEO of Franmarine, who has been a former winner of Innovator of the Year 2014, who will join us on the panel shortly. To Kirstin Butcher, the CEO of Genvis, who has been a winner too in 2019, who will also join us this morning. Welcome back. Look forward to hearing about your journeys a little bit later. Can I also acknowledge Linda Dawson, who's the Deputy Director General of the Department of Jobs, Tourism, Science, Innovation, and Natalia Kasparek, who is the Acting Government Chief Information Officer at the Department of Premier and Cabinet. That's right, I'll find a spot, Charlie. Can I also give a special thanks to our valued sponsors for this year's event. To our primary sponsor, Rio Tinto, Woodside Energy, Wesfarmers, Business News, Griffith Hack, Rays, Nexia Australia, Seri, Biodesign Australia and More Australia. And we have some new sponsors this year for 2024, CSIRO, Better Labs and AMI, the Australian Innovation Management Institute. So since its inception in 2006, the West Australian Innovator of the Year Awards has been a beacon for showcasing the ingenuity and entrepreneurial spirit of individuals, businesses and creative minds across our great state of Western Australia. Now, the program has not only enriched the lives of participants, but has also contributed to the broader community of Western Australia. And today marks an exciting moment for innovation and technology in WA. Our government is committed to fostering a diverse, dynamic and resilient innovation ecosystem with a singular focus on positioning Western Australia as a global epicentre of invention, investment, innovation and impact. And so to realise this vision, we are delivering on our innovation strategy with over $100 million invested into initiatives that support the West Australian innovation sector, which is now worth more than $9 billion. Having grown from about $3 billion in 2019. As a government, we are supporting the success of our local ecosystem, and we are equally invested in seeing it grow, expand, flourish and thrive. A healthy ecosystem is one that attracts and welcomes new players and is brimming with multiple avenues for support. And we have been busy ushering in new talent, networks and partnerships through initiatives like the Founders Factory, providing more opportunities and an even better or greater global reach for our startups here in WA. Now, I always enjoy opportunities to share stories about the talents of our local founders and the global impact that they are having. And telling these stories and sharing the successes of our state and the awesome things happening in it is something that I want us all to get better at doing. The state government is strategically investing in elevating the profile of our ecosystem through platforms such as Innovation Nation, our international trade networks and new offices that we're opening around the world, and of course through awards like these. We're also putting in mechanisms to attract new capital into our ecosystem with ventures like Fund WA and Purpose Ventures, catalysing deals with local startups and paving the way for increased venture capital investments in the foreseeable future. Now, there's lots of work happening in the VC land in WA, and I'll have more to say on that in coming months, so watch this space. But I find it such a great privilege to witness the success stories of companies like Paperly and Hola Health, both backed by WA-based VC funds, who are addressing real-world challenges with innovative solutions and are all flying the flag of Western Australia very high. Quick start for you all. Hola Health's revenue has increased by 300% over the last 2 years, and they've increased volumes by over 550% in the last 12 months. And this is just one example of the many out there, and certainly I, as Minister, and the government are doing what we can to support these change makers. But back to today's event and the Innovators of the Year Award. These awards serve as an important stepping stone in stimulating our local innovation ecosystem. And it does provide a great platform to amplify our reach on the global stage. It's also worth noting the introduction of live streaming and recording of this launch, and that enables broader participation. Also reduces geographical and temporal barriers so that people right around the state can participate in this event, so that we can welcome innovators from all walks of life and all corners of the state. Now, I am delighted to announce that this year the total prize money has increased to $240,000, and that's to ensure that we recognise the collective efforts and the diverse contributions of innovators across our state. In addition, and in line with the ethos of celebrating excellence and government seeking to lead by example, we've also introduced the Government Innovator of the Year Award. I want us to practice what we preach, and I want our agencies to be at the forefront of innovation, and so I'm excited that this new award will be presented this year. So this edition will bring the total to 8 winners in 2024, and will acknowledge, honour and also encourage the trailblazing innovators that I think we have, that we know we have in Western Australia. The Cook Government is also committed to enabling and to celebrating the great innovation that is happening in the public sector, and at the same time also making it easier for startups and local businesses to access this market. One thing that we are working incredibly hard on is to create opportunities for innovators to sell their product or service to government, and government procurement is an issue that we're focused on at the moment. So while I particularly enjoy celebrating these awards, I do think it's an opportunity for us all to share and to shout about the amazing stuff that is happening in Western Australia, and to talk about everyone's successes. I often get asked what sets WA aside from everywhere else, I guess there's some usual answers you can give, but what I think truly sets us apart, it's not VCs or unicorns, but it's us, it's the collective. I think there's a great ecosystem here in WA. I think the boundary is probably a natural, well, it is a border, but it's, it keeps those people out over there, and it makes us work more collaboratively together. And I think that's something we should acknowledge, celebrate, and do more of. Our secret sauce has always been and will be our people. And well, either that or maybe there's something in the water, who knows. But I do want our ecosystem to be the friendliest, to be the safest, most diverse, and indeed most welcoming one around. And so for people to come here and stay here because they know that they will be supported in this state, and to be able to build success here. The Cook Government is firm in our commitment to empowering local innovators and innovative enterprises. As I said, we want them to flourish and thrive. We want them to expand their footprint on the global stage, but to do it from here. I am very excited to officially launch the quest for the WA Innovators of the Year 2024. So if you, or indeed, if you or someone you know has spearheaded innovation here in WA, don't wait around. Get your application in, grasp the opportunity, and apply this year. Thanks very much. I declare it officially launched. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. And Minister, if you'd like to take your seat, and it would be a great panel if you could sit in the same order as the photos. What about that? You manage that while I introduce you. So if you want to take your seats while I introduce you, that'll sort of serve as the gap. So I'll introduce everyone. The Minister here, Stephen, was born in Dublin, and his family, the others can come up. You can come up slowly as I'm talking. Please, in the right order. Migrated to Australia from Ireland in 1989. He studied to be a French and drama teacher at ECU, and in 1995 joined the Labor Party on Orientation Day. He was elected to represent the mining and pastoral region in the 2013 state election. He served as Shadow Minister, then in various ministerial positions. WA is very fortunate to have him as our Minister for Innovation. In last year's Startup Muster report, a national survey of startup ecosystem, he was voted in the top 3 most admired politicians in the country. We welcome Minister for Innovation. Professor Fiona Wood, I'm sure, needs no introduction, but deserves one nonetheless. She's been a burn surgeon and a researcher for over 30 years and is Director of the Burn Service of West Australia. Her enduring legacy is her work with the co-inventor Mary Stoner, pioneering the innovative spray-on skin technique RECELL. In October 2002, Fiona was propelled into the media spotlight when the largest proportion of survivors from the 2002 Bali bombings arrived in Perth, and she led a medical team at Royal Perth Hospital to save many lives. She was named a member of the Order of Australia in 2003, Australian of the Year in 2005, and just this year was awarded the Officer of the Order of Australia. She is quite simply one of the most inspirational innovators in our state, if not the country. Professor Fiona Wood. Adam Falconer-West is the CEO of Franmarine, and as the Minister said, he won the growth category for an Innovator of the Year in 2014. He's worked in the maritime industry for more than 25 years. He's the CEO and Managing Director at Franmarine, an Australian-owned company that specialises in technology, integrated underwater asset management and sustainment to the maritime industries. Under his leadership, Franmarine has flourished, expanding to a national and even international presence. In 2023, Franmarine were awarded a $3.95 million WA Investment Attraction Fund grant for the establishment of a WA-based Global Operations Centre. This centre facilitates the provision of technology-enabled ships husbandry and sustainment services to both Australian and global defence organisations. Please welcome Adam. And Kirstin Butcher is the CEO of Genvis. She was the emerging category winner in 2019, Innovator of the Year. For 20 years, she has been founding and growing businesses in Australia, Hong Kong, Indonesia, and most recently, Canada. In 2017, she founded Genvis to build modern software tools to transfer how public safety teams keep communities safe. Under her leadership, Genvis has underpinned the state's successful response to the COVID-19 pandemic, developing the G2G Pass app, Safe WA, and Service WA. More recently, she was awarded the contract to build the next generation Emergency WA by DFES. She is also a WA Business News 40 Under 40 winner and a previous finalist for WA Australian of the Year. Kirstin Butcher. And Fiona and Stephen are going to moderate the panel. Over to you.
Do you want to go first? You go first.
Well, where do we start? I think maybe, why don't we start there? Can you tell us what made you stand up and say, I can do this? Maybe, Adam.
Well, for us, historically we've been about underwater asset management and we'll always be about underwater asset management and looking at innovative new ways in which we can enhance delivery of that capability and to augment the traditional means of delivering services underwater. So that is what we have done with in-water hull cleaning technology, closed circuit technology, and beyond that now a digital platform solution for provision of underwater sustainment capability more broadly and internationally. In terms of what has really, I suppose, given me and myself the confidence to push those boundaries, I would say back to the Minister's words, it is the collaborative sense of family that I think we all enjoy here in WA. So it's with that support and encouragement that I've really been comfortable in taking those next steps and moving forward.
And did the Innovator of the Year make a difference in part of that, as you were in that sort of stream?
Oh, absolutely. For us, the Innovator of the Year award has really established a tenor within our organisation that continues to define us. And so with that, we've continued to move forward. So in many ways, because of the Innovator of the Year award in 2014.
Kirstin, what about you? Tell us the journey that Genvis has had, so how it started and what you've grown to now.
So we started in quite a different type of place to where we have ended up. So we were very much an embryonic startup with myself and a few sort of PhD students, doing some sort of computer vision work. Through that, we had an opportunity we approached WA Police to say that we wanted to help with domestic violence victims. We'd seen many women murdered across the country over about 6 months, and many instances of a woman having a restraining order out against someone and being murdered in their home. So we were out building computer vision for retail analytics, and I approached WA Police and said, I want to help. This is not commercial, this was absolutely just, we have technology that could probably have saved lives if we'd put cameras up around their home and fed them alerts when someone was approaching that property. WA Police said, awesome, we've got no money, but we'll give you some advice. So we ended up building this app, and it was actually what we ended up winning that award for, and it has been a social activity, a sort of social impact activity for us since then. But it did get us close to police, and through working with police, we actually saw that CSI was not real, and that they really need better tools to do their job. And so here we are with computer vision tools, and we could help them actually review footage in order to solve investigations much, much faster. So we started building out that technology, but again, we're still at that point, a very small startup, more computer vision like engineers than web engineers. And it was very early on at the start of COVID. I remember sending an email at 2 a.m. on a Saturday to Gary Drybergs, who was the then Deputy Commissioner of WA Police. And I'd seen an article where Victoria Police had said they're not going to have high-risk sex offenders reporting for bail anymore. And I said, Mr. Drybergs, let's not let that happen in WA. How can we help? And he actually emailed out back 4 hours later and said, that's great, but I've got something more important that we need. And within 10 days, we were live with G2G Pass. Now, we were a computer vision company. We had 4 web engineers to build a full border management solution in 10 days, which we obviously didn't sleep. But through that, we've just built great relationships with government customers and have become, that company that you go to when stakes are really high, and you need people who are never going to sleep until we deliver. So that's really us in a nutshell.
And what size are you now? So how many people
So
work
we're
there?
about 30 people now, and I'll say just from there, we believe in profitability at every size. We're a company that really wants to sort of chart our own way, and so we haven't raised money in about 4 years. We really like that. We like to be able to pay our own way and grow as we want to grow. I think there's a lot to be said for that. We make really fast and good decisions. It means we can invest with our government customers, because obviously working with government's really hard. Like long sales cycles, you've got to be able to stay the course, and it's hard for VCs to back companies like ours. But we've been able to grow into Canada and having some really great success, and we will be an international company that's come from Perth, and that's really exciting for us.
Congratulations.
Fantastic. I think what you've touched on there is values. You've both talked about community and those connections, but what about the values of your company? Either, we'll go in order, shall we?
No, thanks, Fiona. So for us, it's been incredibly important to remain true to your purpose. As I say, underwater asset management has been what we're about and will always be. Technology and opportunities will push and pull you in different directions. And I think bringing back to your core purpose as an organisation, knowing where your product or solution fits as a broader or the end-to-end solution is important. And then for us as well, those values, I'm a defence industry guy, so we're very passionate about national security. We're very passionate about WA's invaluable biodiversity. We're marine as well, so that you've got marine biodiversity, keeping, I think, again, what we enjoy here in WA, safe and secure and whole for future generations. So that's really what drives us, and I can't stress enough that remaining true to your purpose has been fundamental for us in achieving our success along the way.
Yeah, we're absolutely a mission-driven company. Choosing again to work with government, we're all about public safety. It makes it very easy to say yes and no to opportunities. We're approached by the private sector continuously, and approached by funders, VCs, private equity constantly. But it's really easy to say no when you know exactly what you stand for and what you're trying to do. And again, it's about making good decisions, building great teams. People who work at Genvis, they're coming because, one, they're building very cool tech. It's exciting, it's challenging. What we're trying to do is build tools that enable multi-agency, multi-sector, multi-region, multi-country collaboration. We're talking about emergency response, going into emergency warnings. We're talking about case management. We're talking about human trafficking, domestic violence, abuse, all sorts of things that really, really matter, and someone's got to step up and say, we can actually solve this. So for us, it's really easy. We get up every day. Certainly, there's a few people in the room here from Genvis, but every day is a joy. Like, these are great people. We love working together, and we actually feel that every decision we make is going to have an impact on the community around us. We feel a responsibility. It's just there. And same for COVID. When we built G2G, we literally didn't sleep. I didn't have a day off in 2 years. Not a Saturday, not a Sunday. We were there every day. And that's because the border rules kept changing.
Sorry about that.
I know, it's a thing. I don't know where my medal is. But that's the reality, is that if you've got the vision and you've got the mission and you've got a great team around you, it's play that actually has a really great impact to the community. And, you feel that. And we always think, working with government, yes, government is the customer, but actually it's the public and the citizens that are the real customer. And so how do we innovate on their behalf? How do we make sure that we're building accessible technology, that everyone can participate in the new world that we're building? And importantly for us, how do we keep people safe? So it's easy to get up every day.
Well done. We often hear frustrations from people about how hard it is to break into selling your product to government. You've been very successful. Some great products, kept us all alive, essentially. I think we can all attest to that. How do you do it? What's the secret to your success in actually getting those contracts and continuing to get them? Because it's been G2G, Services WA, Emergency WA, and the list keeps growing.
So, one, we chose to play in the space, and we chose to stay the course, even when people said, you're never going to get anywhere, it's really too hard, you're a startup, we're not funding things like that. We stayed the course, we showed our commitment. It's not been easy. It's still not easy, right? It is very long sales cycles. It's not easy to buy from a company like us. We had G2G in the market, already working well, having millions of people enter, more than 12 months in the market, and the federal government went to market to get the same thing. Now, they then went and spent $60 million as part of the procurement process, let alone the contract. And we knew they couldn't buy from us because they wouldn't buy from us. It was just not how they operate. They're not there yet. But here we were proven, and I had spoken to the top people at Home Affairs. Now, when they went to market and they gave Accenture, whoever it was, many millions of dollars to build something that was then turned off 10 days later because it didn't work, but we'd now been in market 2 years, it's not easy. So we have to choose our battles. We have to stay the course with customers we want to work with, and we know that over time we'll get there. But it's also having a zero failure, right? We talk about it. When you get on board into Genvis, you're made very scared. You can bring this company down, right? Mistakes get us in the paper, right? But that's something we step into. I know. and we feel your pain. We feel your pain. But we do have to, you do buy in to who are you actually working for at the end of the day, because ministers are taking risks. We had a deputy commissioner taking risks. We had a premier taking a risk, right? And we feel that. And I think if you don't feel that, you're not for the game. Just don't even play in that. So, I think you have to be able to step in and say, this is who I am. It's the pressure. This is part of the job. Showing up, this is just part of it.
I think that's really interesting, because what you're saying is you've got to have courage. And that's something I probably don't want to hear. I talk about surgical courage a lot to the juniors. You've just got to stiffen your back, and you can't walk away, yeah? And so it's part of the job for me, and so that really resonates. But what kind of barriers do you face? And the frustrations are palpable there. How about you?
Yeah, so you learn over time that there is no such thing as an overnight success story. So for us, 2014 winner, we introduced capability to the Royal Australian Navy in 2018, and it's been persistence over that journey. We have also been very conscious of understanding whom our customer is and where they sit, and then, as Kirstin also said, whom your end customer is, the ultimate customer. So part of that go-to-market strategy for us has been about that, and perhaps here, the customer that you're currently working with or establishing relationships with potentially also represents a channel partner. It's been that persistence. Again, defence industry, incredibly or historically conservative industry when it comes to innovation and technology. So it has been difficult. But persistence pays off. There was an announcement made yesterday, actually, regarding a contract that we've just entered into with Babcock and the Royal Australian Navy. So that's really been the product of our journey from 2018. And as I say, at face value, it appears to be just another one of those overnight success stories, but definitely not the case. It's the sleepless nights, the persistence, and that determination that I think you need to. You really need to leverage off that will get you there.
And Adam, it's difficult to get money from government, grants or otherwise, contracts, but you've been very successful and you got your almost $4 million IAF, or Investment Attraction Fund, amount. How did you do that? And what's that been put to?
So fortunately we do have a successful track record with government support and funding. We've been successful, and again, it's a step-by-step approach. With federal and state, so the Sovereign Industrial Capability Priority Grants, that really enabled our expansion into New South Wales. Proudly, WA born and bred, but now national. And then from there, we were able to take that and leverage once again into the WA Investment Attraction Fund, and we're currently working through that project, and that's to establish that global headquarters to enable us to deliver that technology-enabled underwater sustainment capability to national defence and maritime organisations, but more to the point, international. So again, it's that leveraging off those prior success of what you take and what you learn from those, and then moving those forward. That's enabled us to maintain that successful track record.
Great, well done. If I can ask the two of you about the Innovator of the Year award, is there one thing that you can kind of pinpoint to that I guess you can say, this is what the Innovator of the Year award meant to me, whether in 2014 or 2019?
I would say the recognition for a lot of hard work and that innovative thinking. We're definitely not the end, but the beginning of a journey. And personally, full transparency, I can't take all of the credit. It was Mr. Roger Dyberg, whom is now my business partner. But again, it takes a team, I would say. You need to have that concept, and then you need to take that concept from being hypothetical, and bring that into reality, and then also make ultimately a sustainable business model from that. It's taken a step, but back to the point, it's been that recognition for the hard work, and as I said earlier, that's really defined us as an organisation and continues to differentiate us from our peers within the industry.
Kirstin, what about you?
I think it's really about the recognition of the, particularly for the team. So, as a CEO, I'm out talking to people, and I'm, especially over COVID, often I'd go into a meeting and I'd be thanked, which is, you know, a really great thing to have, you know, from government. You know, you're working hard, and it's just sometimes a thanks for your efforts. Like it's as simple as that, right? Honestly. So when it comes to an award like that, it's actually a thank you to the team. It's like the team gets to actually feel that as well, because they're not often the one, you know, that's going into those, you know, high profile sort of meetings and hearing that. So honestly, for me, it's like just recognition to the team for their hard work and, you know, showing up every day. Like, it's not easy to show up at a company like Genvis every day, because you really got to be on like all the time. Like, it's just a thing. There's no 6 out of 10 people there, you know, so yeah.
I think it's really interesting. The conversation so far, I've touched on, you know, the leadership. Clearly, you're demonstrating leadership and passion, both of you, and the importance of the team and persistence. And I'm not sure who said, like, it's 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration, but I think they had it right. But what I'd like to maybe really dig into the weeds a bit and say, well, when's been your hardest time, and how have you got through it? Because it's not all sunshine and roses.
No. I'll start. So for us, I think for everyone, you know, COVID was incredibly challenging. You know, these are the black swan events that, you know, you can't forecast, you can't factor in. So, you know, we were really forced to contract, and again, that's what that being, you know, true to your purpose also comes into the equation. So, you know, and fortunately for us, that also led to us really, you know, again, once defining that business model, and once we were able to, you know, growing that back out, and that's really led to acceleration. So, your COVID, as much as that being that challenging moment for us, and one of multiple, I would say, but it's how you can convert those into opportunity, learn from those, and strengthen as you move forward. So, you know, that's been a takeaway from you know, that specific challenge, and I think every challenge that we've encountered.
I would say every day is the hardest day in my life. And I would think that other people at the company would agree to that. You know, there's that whole thing about it. You know, day in a founder's life is like that. In a day, it's like great, and then it's bad, and then it's great, and then it's bad, all in one day, and that's just rolling with it. So I would honestly say that. I think I also have a tendency to blur memories so that I don't relive the pain of bad moments over and over. You just have to be looking forward, and you can just put them behind you, and that's true. That's, you know, good for laughs, but also true. So every day is like that. You know, when we had the contracts for COVID, our biggest contract was month by month. But you're then supposed to be able to deliver a reliable, stable, performant solution, delivering 24/7 service every single day with a month-to-month contract. And now it could only be month-to-month because it was procured during a state of emergency. Now that is insane. Like, the pressure to actually try to grow your team, to deliver, to not screw up, to get the ministers and the commissioners and the Premier in the media, that is one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. It does teach you how to be really circumspect about growth, but it's challenging because on one hand, you're like frustrated that you're not growing fast enough, because if you just had more people, but I want to pay these people. We've never had a redundancy in our company, but we've also had to limit the growth, and that hurts. So sometimes as an entrepreneur, it's not when you're failing, it's when you're really floundering. It's actually when you're failing to grow at the rate that you want to grow. So that's the hard thing about working with government as well. So, you know, we're only just now stepping into our first really exciting contract with Emergency WA. That's 8 years. That starts to help us grow as a company. But all through COVID, you know, if we had Safe WA on a sort of a yearly renewal, that's, again, it's super hard. So, you know, you've got customer expectations that you're going to deliver at the highest level and anything they want at any moment, but you can't actually hire for that. So, you know, that there's a price, and again, it's being willing to say, this is the game I chose to play, and I've got to stay the course, And as I land new and new, more contracts, we grow, and that's where we like it that we can pay our people, every month. We're not, getting that external funding, but yeah, lots of challenges. Every day is a challenge. Every day is a challenge.
Well, I'm not sure what motivation is, right? But I know it's contagious, and I'm sure you'd agree. The passion we've got here could be very contagious. And I just wonder if there are any questions from the audience, because we've kind of hogged it, really, haven't we? Yeah.
All right. While they think about it, can I ask just both of you quickly? There's people in the audience today who would never have applied for Innovator of the Year before. Why should they do it? What's the benefit of it? Is it that recognition? Is it a label? Is it a badge? What?
It is the recognition, but and more than that, though. I'd like to spin that and ask why not. It's all about upside. It's all about recognition. It's all about exposure. It's the beginning, not an end. Be open to the journey. For us, it's opened many doors, and as I said, it's defined the organisation we are today. So, we're very grateful for that, and I would, again, wholeheartedly recommend any aspiring entrepreneur, innovator to, have a crack. Have a crack.
What about you?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think many founders are so busy doing the work, they're not actually thinking about entering competitions. I didn't enter the competition. Someone at the office entered the competition because she's like, we're doing good shit. Let's let that be known. And to this day, we're still a company that really very few people even know our names, right? Because you're just busy doing the work. So if you can find that time to actually enter a competition, get a bit of exposure out in the community. And I think things are changing really quickly. Like, I was living overseas and I came back about 8 years ago. It's an entirely different community today as it was then. So, it can only keep growing if people participate. So, it's also just what you can do, right? Just have it go.
And people back bold ambition. So for us, and myself, it's realising that and strengthening yourself from a confidence point of view that enables that, or for me personally, has enabled that ongoing success. So.
Anyone?
Any questions?
Hi, I'm Hudson from Business News. I just wanted to question around the business sector, specifically teamwork and collaboration. You guys discussed a little bit on that one. From an entrepreneurial perspective, do you think that you worked closer with established businesses or more from the entrepreneurial community to establish where you guys currently are in the market?
I think we come from fundamentally different backgrounds and industries. So for Franmarine, it has been established organisations, just given the maturity of maritime defence industries. So that has led to its own challenges, being innovative in nature and with novel technologies to look at how we introduce those to those established, very mature organisations. But once again, in there lies the opportunity to demonstrate that things can be done differently, more effectively, with increased traceability and transparency. So, not a perfect answer or direct, more to the point, but that's been part of our journey, is working with those established organisations.
Yeah, so we've just been government purely until this year, end of last year, when we started to support non-profits as well. So the non-profit service providers that are actually working hand in hand with government to deliver community support. So that is the domestic violence, that is the mental health, that is homelessness, that is human trafficking in Canada. So we are entirely in that market. We see that there is no way that government and these non-profit service providers can be successful, frankly. They can actually, deliver on good intentions and will without technology to actually underpin that. And it turns out that most technology providers aren't thinking about, non-profits trying to keep a woman safe from domestic violence, right? And is that if I'm going to ask the question, is that because I'm one of the very few female CEOs and I see something and I'm like, let's do something about it, where we have, 99 out of 100 CEOs are men, right? And they're not thinking about those things. So we've said that's who we are, that's what we're playing, and we haven't worked with a private company ever.
Peter Kasprzak, Innovate Australia. Please don't throw rocks at me, but I do like the old name. And I tell you why. Many entrepreneurs, many winners actually put in their signature, put the logo, and they put Innovator of the Year. Somebody in the United States reads that and says, wow, this is very impressive. If you put Innovators of the Year, it really devaluates that. That's just my opinion, okay? So innovation, look, in business, you make a right decision, you make a wrong decision. So we make different turns, okay? So we sometimes correct.
Well, Peter, I'm giving people now the opportunity, the right to use Innovator of the Year after they win this year. So even though we've named the Innovators of the Year, they will be an Innovator of the Year, and they can brand it, sell it, and use it.
Thank
you.
Hi guys, thanks for the talk. It's really insightful, really fascinating. I had a question for both of you, not only about winning Innovator of the Year, but just in general for celebrating when we actually win, or when people win as founders or entrepreneurs. So how did you celebrate your win as Innovator of the Year? And also, how should founders in general just celebrate the wins, whether, albeit how small or big it is, in general during their journey?
Look, celebrating each and every win with the team is incredibly important. So for us, it was 2014, 10 years. I have a bit of a blurred memory, like Kirstin does. So I can't recall specifically what we did to celebrate that achievement. But for us, again, it's proven to be critical. Thank you. Incredibly important to celebrate achievements as you do achieve them along the journey with the team, and providing that broader recognition for their contributions. So.
We really don't have time to celebrate. I'm not even shitting you. I remember we won a contract with WA Police recently, and the ex-Deputy Commissioner works for us now, and he was like, this is fantastic. And I think we honestly celebrated for about 2.5 minutes. And he said, aren't we going out to lunch? Aren't we doing something? I said, we've just got so much work to do. And we literally just went back to work. For Emergency WA, I think we had the afternoon off. But then you're back, you're at it. You just have to keep going. So we celebrate, we celebrate a lot. Don't get me wrong, but it's literally for 30 seconds or it's a laugh. We also did, we sort of said goodbye to like the COVID years with, at the end of the G2G contract with sort of some Scottish bagpipes and everyone listening, because it was the end of an era for us, but also it had to happen. We had to be moving into what is the new, what's the next 10 years look like for Genvis. So we don't celebrate enough, but we celebrate often during the day with very small moments. So, and the same when it goes for an award. It's a quick celebration.
That's a great way to finish. Thank you very much to the panel. Thank you, Stephen, Kirstin, Adam, Fiona. You can stay there if you like. Just a couple of quick slides and we'll hand back. The timeline, applications are open now. Government Innovators of the Year, you just have to wait. I know you're very excited, very innovative. You'll be opening in a few weeks, but every other category is open today and will be open until the end of May. There'll be judging panels through June and July. Finalists will be announced in early August, and then they're actually going to go through an accelerator program this year. So we've tidied up all the workshops and turned it into an accelerator. Everyone gets that. And then the awards night is at the Western on the 28th of October. So it's free to apply. You've had lots of reasons why to apply. There might be people in the room on the live stream who'd like to apply, or you might be able to find someone, and that's really what we've asked you to do. Go out and find someone, tap them on the shoulder. They're a bit shy to apply. If you're in the organisation, the CEO's too busy, apply. You've got until the 31st of May. I will now hand back to the Scott and Dave show, who are fantastic, and thank you again, the panel.
Thank you very much, Charlie,
Yes.
and to the amazing panel.
Thank you. I just want to actually say before we depart this beautiful building is that thank you very much to Charlie for giving Morning Startup the pleasure of launching this year's Innovator of the Year or Innovators of the Year award. I think it's quite poetic because obviously we've been going for almost 12 years.
12 years,
12
yeah.
years, and the whole point that we were started was just to put founders in the same room to tackle some of the challenges of creating a business and innovating, and so bringing it here to this grassroots is brilliant. So thank you very much to you guys for bringing it here.
Woo! Good on ya. Just a couple of housekeeping things. So we've got a ton of food. Help yourself. We're going to be getting these chairs out the way so you can get to know each other. Loos are at the back if you're that way inclined.
We have this space
else?
until 9. I'm sure the conversations will carry on, but at 9 I become vocal and I kind of herd you out the door. So we can give this space back to Space Cube.
Oh, and don't forget, 2 weeks' time, Dave O'Smitho with an awesome entrepreneurial framework talk. So please come along. Don't let this be your first and only morning startup that you attend. We'd love to see you again.
Thank you very much. See you in 2 weeks.
Cheers.